Hi everyone, my name's Lucy. I'm a 23-year-old engineer based on the East Coast trying to pay off all the debt I accrued from student loans, car loans, and credit cards by the end of 2026 to become financially stable. I make these videos to keep myself accountable and so I can look back on them in the future. So feel free to watch and follow along if you want to see me go from broke to hopefully rich. And for now, here is the June financial reset. So let's take a look at the April and May overviews. So as you can see for April, I did spend a lot more money than I budgeted to, about $1,400 more than I budgeted to. But that is because I knew I had some medical bills coming up and I didn't know how much the cost was, so I just didn't input a cost here. This $1,288 is medical bills. I had to get an MRI done and that was really expensive. And so that's what this cost is, and that's why it's so expensive. Other than that, my miscellaneous and my food were the categories that I went over in, as well as my transportation. My bills, this was just, I saw an increase, I had an increase in my income, so I budgeted it in my bills basically. So that is why that looks like that. As for May, as you can see for May, I budgeted a lot more income than I planned to. And you can see that that budget is actually seen in the miscellaneous. And that's because I took a lot of work trips in May. So I put my work trips under my miscellaneous category. And I do get reimbursed for my work trips. And I assumed that I would get reimbursed in May, but I didn't. So we'll see that in the June financial reset. In the June budget category, and I'll get paid for that and I will pay off those bills. But that's why that income difference is there. As for everything else, my other high category was personal, and that's because it was my dad's birthday and I had some family visiting, and so I paid for some things, and that's why this category is so high. But other than that, those are the reasons. Oh, and food. This was also, yeah, food was a pretty bad category this month. I have to actually watch myself more with food. So now let's go into what my payroll, my loans are, and what they look like today. Excuse me. So as you can see, in April, my salary was a little bit higher, but this was because I just got reimbursed for some work things that happened in March. And also, I canceled one of my loans. So I had a car warranty loan, as you can see right here, that I canceled in March, and I got reimbursed for some of the funds back in April, and I wasn't expecting that, so that's where the $616 came from, and the rest was just work reimbursements, and so that added up to the $6,000. And other than that, it was the same pay salary from April and May. Assets, as you can see from my assets, my cashback went down by a lot, and that's because of that MRI bill that I had to pay. I realized that my cashback, I was actually saving up my cashback to put it into my bank account, to then put into savings when I was done paying off all my debt, which should be done by September, hopefully. And I realized, oh, I can't actually take my cash back out and put it in my bank account like I can with my Discover card for the rest of my cards. So I've just been using my cash back to pay off my credit cards now. And that's why this is now so low. As for my checkings and savings, I believe this is high. My checkings is higher because my bills haven't come out yet for my credit cards. So once my credit cards go down, fill this. I keep about like maybe $300 in my checkings account because I just spend everything on credit cards, and then everything else gets paid off automatically. So yeah. As for my savings did go up $1,863. That's from the $100 that I put in plus some slight interest. So there is that as well. As you can see as well, my investments also went up, and I invested I think $70 out of this in my 401k, but it went up by a lot more, so that's exciting. So now my total liquid assets is $3,495.87, and that is my high yield savings account plus my bank plus my assets I have. So cash back in cash. And then my total with assets is $8,296.23. So I include my investments in that, my savings, etc. So that is where that total comes from. So now let's go on to the liabilities, and these are my loans and my credit cards. So as you can see, I only have one loan left to pay off, but I'm waiting to pay it off until I pay off all my credit cards. So that is why you're not seeing this go down exponentially. My loan percentage on this is 3.73, so there's no point in me paying it off early and not paying off my credit cards, getting like 20% back on those. So I'm now paying down my credit cards. As you can see, this credit card is not paid down. This is because this is a credit card I put my work trip on, so, but I have been paying that down as well. So don't worry, I've been paying this down. It's just my work trip is on that, and I will get reimbursed for that in June, and you will see this number go down drastically. As otherwise, I paid off my Capital One saver, and that only has $46 on that, and that's from just something random on there, and so I paid that off as well. And this is just from the gas and my subscriptions. This is my gas and subscriptions card, so that's for that for the month, and I pay this off every month as well. So I paid these 3 cards off every month, and this one will be paid off hopefully by the end of August. So that is my liabilities, and so in my credit score right now is 724, which is really low. Mine was used to be 789, but because my utilization is so high currently because of this, I'm very close to my limit on my credit card right now. That's why my credit score is so low, but I'm gonna get that back up once I pay off everything. And my total debt right now is $20,999, which is down $2,000, almost $2,000 from the previous month of April. So that's exciting. Now let's go into what I spent it on. So bills in May, basically all the bills I'm paying off are my credit card. In May, I also had a car charge, and that was because I needed to replace my windshield wipers. So I replaced my windshield wipers. So food's not with my worst category. This month in May, I went real crazy. I don't know what happened there. I think I just had a lot of days off and things like that, and I just didn't want to leave the house and get food, so I didn't. And so I spent it on food, but I can't do that anymore, so I'm going to not do that anymore. That's right, so that's $472 in May and $55 in April. $57 is a lot more reasonable, but I shouldn't be spending any money on food because I live at home with my parents. So now on to miscellaneous. So I bought 2 $11 Amazon purchases. I believe this one was for glasses cleaners, and I believe this one was for some skincare that I had. So yeah, I did spend a lot on Audible in April because I read books during work, so that's why. And then I had a work trip during April, which I already got reimbursed for in this month, I believe, yes. And then for May, there was travel. I have a trip coming up in August that I upgraded a lot of stuff for, so that's why this travel thing is so high. I had like a really cheap first class upgrade, and I upgraded all my seats, so that's why that's so high. Fun. I bought concert tickets. So yeah, I bought 2 concert tickets, I believe, this month, and that's why this is so high. But I'm excited to go to those in September and October. So yeah, gifts. As I said, it was my dad's birthday, so I bought him something, and my family members came to visit, so I bought some things for them as well. And then work, I had 2 work trips in the month of May, so that's why this is high. I had to pay for my flights and some of my hotel, some food, etc. Now let's go to personal. So personal, oh yeah. So in April, as you can see, this health charge right here is for that MRI that I was talking about, but I also bought some skincare and some other personal, which I don't know what it is. Let's go check. Okay, I checked. It was just some wipes and gloves, so that's what I bought. some wipes and some gloves from Amazon. So other personal stuff. But the big bulk of that charge was this $1,200, which I knew I was expecting for my MRI. And all is good. I'm healthy, in case anyone was wondering. As for May, when I went out with my family, I did go shopping, and I unfortunately bought some clothes. Work clothes still, but I did buy some clothes. And then hair. I did have a hair appointment this month. And that was $225, which happens usually every month. So there will be one in June and one in July as well. And then health. Health was, I did have an online e-visit to go over the MRI that I had in April. So that was what that health cost was. I did it in April, but I got that bill in May. So that's what the health cost was. As for savings, I've been doing my same savings, $100 every month. Subscriptions were a little bit lower this month because I canceled my Peacock membership. Even though Love Island's starting up, so sad. But yeah, I did cancel that, so $3 less this month. And for transportation, I was lower this month than I thought, so that's exciting. Yeah. So, but I did go over in April, so that's unfortunate. But it looks like it balances out a little bit. I did budget $200, I believe, in May, and I budgeted $150 or $180 in April, and that was definitely too low, especially with gas prices rising. So now I know better, so I'm budgeting better. So in total, in April, I spent $7,597, and in May, I spent $8,049. And of course, I'm paying off my credit cards now, so me spending more than I make is not good. But like I said, I get reimbursed for a majority of these purchases, so I probably went over like $200-$300. And I'm curbing back my spending, as now I need to actually pay off the credit cards, or the things that I pay off, the things that I spend on my credit cards. Yeah. So this is my April budget versus April actual. As you can see, my investments were not what I planned for, as well as my miscellaneous was a bit higher. But overall, pretty close to what I planned to spend. But as you can see from May was a little bit more off. I should have spent more on bills. May was a little bit more off. My budget versus actual, I should have spent more on bills and less on food. But I guess I had less bills to pay, so I spent it on food. Same for personal. Personal was a little bit higher than I thought it would be. But let's try and do better for June. So June is a 3 paycheck month. Yay. So let's budget for June. So like I said, income for June, 3 paychecks, but I also am going to get reimbursed for my work trip. So let's see how much that cost. It should just be this exact amount, $2,157.01. Okay. So it should just be that exact amount. So in June I should make about $9,000. Of that, 21,000. All right, let's clear this. So of that 2,000, this will go to my credit card. So I put credit cards under my bills, and then I will also have $60 for my student loan payment, as well as I think I'll have an oil change in June, probably. So there's going to be an oil change in June that I'll have to do, and I believe that's it. So yeah. Besides for the additional payments on my credit card, so we're going to go through what I have to pay first, and then do it from there. And then, miscellaneous. I don't think I have any miscellaneous, but I'm gonna keep that because I do have a hair appointment in June that I'm now saving for my hair appointments, so that I can pay that off my credit card and I don't have to keep accruing that, and that's gonna be $225. But because I get paid bi-weekly, I save bi-weekly, so this extra $112.50 is just like the extra payment. And I know I'm gonna have a hair appointment in September that's gonna be more expensive than the rest of them, So that's why I'm saving that money in my checkings or my savings account. So that's the plan for now. Savings, there's always $100. Subscriptions, $41.28 every month now that I got rid of my Peacock. And then transportation is I've upped to $200. So it looks like leftover I have $6,384.13. Let's make sure of that. Let's make sure I'm not forgetting any bills. This is my bi-weekly debt that I used to see. So hair, subscriptions, my federal loan, savings, gas. So yeah, I don't think I'm forgetting anything. So that is the extra money that I have to put onto my credit card. So aside from the 260 plus the 221.57, I have $6,384.13 to put on my credit cards. So yeah, that is exciting, and hopefully we can stick to the budget this time. I do have a big gap in miscellaneous that I hopefully won't spend because I need to save it for September. But yeah, that should be my June financial reset. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.